Okay, so let's continue our review. So let's talk about acid and bases now, beginning with lesson 9. So when we talk about acid and bases, let's begin talking about water. So we know what we know about water. We know that water is H2O. We know that it is an oxygen attached to two hydrogens. We know that water is polar, meaning it has a positive end and a negative end. The negative end of the water is going to be attracted to things that are positive charge or partially positively charged. So if you think about two water molecules together, this negative part of the water molecule is going to be attracted to the positive part of the water molecule. So in some cases, it doesn't happen very often in pure water, but in some cases, actually the hydrogen is going to detach from a water molecule and it's going to attach to another water. So in a pure water, you're going to have H2O, you're going to have H3O plus, and you're going to have OH minus. The plus just indicates that there is an imbalance between protons and electrons. There's actually one missing electron, and here is saying there's one extra electron. So this is, we call this dissociation. This occurs spontaneously, okay, and it is reversible. So this reaction is in equilibrium, okay, so it goes back and forth. We abbreviate this by just writing H plus and OH minus. So this is an abbreviation of this, and we call this dissociation. So some vocabulary, so H3O plus is called a hydronium ion. H plus is called a hydrogen ion. I'll try my best not to call this a proton. We do call this a proton quite a bit, but I'm going to try my best to use hydrogen ion. And this is an hydroxide ion, OH minus. So I talked about all of this because there's several definitions for acids. But the one that we're going to use for this class is that acids give away hydrogen ions. So any molecule that gives away H plus is an acid. Any molecule that accepts hydrogen ions or that has OH minus, we're going to call it a base. Okay. So let's look at some examples of acid and bases. So we have here sodium hydroxide, NaOH. Again, this is an OH, so it's going to be a base. Here we have H2SO4. There's H here, so this is an acid. It actually is called sulfuric acid. Here's HCl. Again, another H here. It's going to be an acid, and it's hydrochloric acid. Again, we see here an H, and then C2H3O2. This H here is indicating that this is going to dissociate. This is acetic acid. Here we have calcium hydroxide, OH indicates as a base. And then we have here water, which has both. It has an H and it has an OH, so it is neutral. So a neutral molecule is a molecule that has equal number of H's to OH's. So when we talk about acid and bases, there are two important things. One is concentration. So if you have an acid that is 0.01 molar versus 1 molar, obviously they're going to have different strengths. If you say you get an acid spill on you, I'm sure you'd much rather have an acid spill of a concentration of 0.001 molar than 1 molar. So the concentration of an acid or base is extremely important. The second thing that is important is the strength. So considering that they're absolutely the same concentration, they can still have, they can be strong or weak. Okay? So a strong acid or a strong base is the one that fully dissociates, whereas a weak acid or a weak base partially dissociates. Some molecules dissociate and some of them kind of stay together. So here's some examples. I have both strong and weak. So here's a strong acid. In the presence of water, it fully dissociates. Notice that the arrow here is one direction. It is an irreversible reaction. Whereas a weak acid, this is acetic acid, it dissociates. Again, we can see the hydrogen ion here, but actually is in equilibrium. So part of it dissociate, part of it does not dissociate, so falls under this category. Here we have a strong base, sodium hydroxide. In the presence of water, it fully dissociates. Again, it's one direction, it is irreversible. Whereas a weak base, it dissociates again. We have a hydroxide ion, showing that it's a base. But in that solution, you're going to see there will be ammonia, there will be water, there will be ammonium ion, and there will be hydroxide. So all of them exist at the same time because they're in equilibrium. So a strong acid or base fully dissociates and the reaction is irreversible. A weak acid and a weak base do not fully dissociate, they reach equilibrium. More examples here. So this is a chemical reaction actually, and it's a double displacement reaction where you have the H combines with the OH and the Na combines with the Cl, and this is the product. So you studied this before and we called it double replacement. But actually the real name is neutralization. Neutralization occurs when you have a strong acid and a strong base that comes together. And the product is always salt and water. And when I talk about salt, it's not necessarily table salt. Remember, salt is anytime a metal and a non-metal are bonded together, we call it a salt. So the product of a neutralization is always salt and water. And again, a neutralization is when a strong acid or a strong base comes together. If you have a strong acid and a weak base, you will also be a neutralization. Every time you have either a strong acid or a strong base, you will neutralize. I have a video here that kind of shows a molecular level, the explanation of molecular level.
Hydrochloric acid contains hydrogen ions and chloride ions in aqueous solution. Sodium hydroxide contains sodium ions and hydroxide ions in aqueous solution. When these two solutions combine, a neutralization reaction takes place. In this reaction, hydrogen ions from the acid and hydroxide ions from the base combine to form water molecules. The sodium and chloride ions are unaffected and remain to form a neutral sodium chloride solution. Neutralization can be summed up by this simple ionic equation.
Okay. So next, what happens when a weak acid and a weak base comes together? So when they come together, they reach equilibrium, and what they form what we call a buffer. A buffer is anything that prevents changes in pH, and we're going to talk about pH later on. So this is a weak acid, okay, this is acetic acid. It dissociates partially and it reaches equilibrium, okay, so the reaction goes back and forth. This is ammonium. Again, in presence of water, creates ammonium ion, and hydroxide ion is a base, is a weak base, and actually the reaction is reversible. So when you have a weak acid and a weak base, they form equilibrium, and we call this a buffer. So how we measure acidity, so how we measure pH. There's probes that we can use to measure the pH. Litmus paper tells you if something's an acid or base, it changes color. The one thing that's really special about acid and bases is that they change color based on pH. Yes, they change color based on acidity. And we have several indicators, which are just dyes that change colors in the presence of different amount of hydrogen ions. So this is a pH scale. So let me walk you through it. The pH scale runs from 0 to 14. What it measures concentration of H, concentration of hydrogen ions. However, it is in a log scale. Okay. So it is in a log scale, so the low numbers represent high concentration of H, whereas the really large numbers represents low concentration of H, so it's reverse of what you usually would think. Also, what I want to say is that the pH scale, it is a log scale. I said that before, but what I want to say is between 0 and 1 is actually a tenfold because a log is in a base of 10. So let me give you an example. So say you have the case of ocean acidification, and you read somewhere that the ocean changed pH 1 point, went from, I don't know, 7 to 8. It's just an example. It is, you might not think, oh, 1 point is not that much, from 7 to 8 is not that much, but it's actually a tenfold change. Because again, it's a pH scale. So say it changed from 7 to 9, it's not a 2 point, it's actually 10 times 10, so it's 100-fold. Okay, so this is tenfold, and if it goes from here to here, it's actually 100-fold. So just to summarize, lots of H means has a low pH, and we say something is acidic if it has a pH from 0 to 6. If a molecule does not dissociate a lot, or has very low hydrogen ions, it has a high pH, and is between 8 and 14, we call it a base, or a basic substance. Note here that a lot of cleaning solutions are either low pH or high pH, and that's because they, in the presence of cell walls, what they do is they create neutralization reactions, which breaks down cell wall of bacteria and virus and all of that. So let me give you an example, and we can see how this kind of works. So say you eat something that you're not supposed to eat, and you get tons of acid reflux, and your stomach hurts. What's happening here, you ate some food, and in order to break down the food that you ate, your stomach releases acid. Okay, acid and bases, they're extremely corrosive. They're very good at breaking things. So the food you ate, your stomach released some acid, but say it released too much acid. For one reason or another, it releases too much acid. The acid now is going to start attacking the wall of your stomach, the lining of your stomach, and that's what causes pain. Okay? So what can you do about that? So an upset stomach usually has a pH of 1, so it's highly acidic. You can drink some water. Okay, you will increase the pH a little bit because again, water is 7. If you have an upset stomach, your pH is about 1. The pH of your stomach is around 1. So you will increase to maybe 1.2, 1.3. Remember, this is a log scale. But it's still not going to reach the normal stomach acid. Okay, it's going to be 1.1, 1.2 if you add water. Okay, it's still not enough. So what really helps is antacids. Look, it's a pretty strong base. Okay, it's a pH 10. So what this is going to do is going to push the pH towards normal, so somewhere around here. Okay, that's how antacids work, by increasing your pH. There you go, and it shows here neutralized stomach content in the presence of an antacid. Here's some reactions of acid from your stomach. Hydrochloric acid is found in your stomach, and this is sodium bicarbonate, so this is baking soda. This is calcium carbonate, I believe that's Tums. Magnesium hydroxide, I believe that is milk of magnesia, I want to say. So those are all antacids in the presence of stomach acid. So this is all neutralization reactions. So I think that's it for acid and bases. Again, the quiz is lesson 8 through 10. Office hours are Wednesday from 12:30 to whenever you need me, and then Thursday at 10:30 to again whenever you need me. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Take care.